is never give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here with Kelly K9, who's back from vacation. He's rested and relaxed, and he's ready to get things rolling. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. It's Thirsty Thursday, so I got to crack a cold one for Cowboys Nation, and thank you for everybody that's tuning in and gonna tune in tonight. It's been a long day of working them Twitter fingers and bringing some content to Cowboys Nation, but going a little back and forth, or a little friendly fire between some of our own and Cowboys Nation, but sometimes that'll happen.
No, it is. We'll touch on a little bit before we get started. Make sure, if you guys are new, everything's going great, man. We appreciate the love. Hit that like, subscribe, share. We might have a special guest pop in if he works out the technology. We'll see how it goes. But I wanted to give a little love to my brother. It's his birthday today. A lot of you guys don't know him. He's actually behind the scenes. Some of you guys ask him, "Man, where do you get these interviews, man? You got these great guys coming up, and you've done these great interviews." Well, he's the one who does it. He's the one who gets it started, and then I finish it. He puts it on a tee, and I hit it off and hopefully get a hole in one and get some of these guys. So it's his birthday today. So just definitely wanted to give Danny a quick happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday to the brother of Mike Tag, and I've got the pleasure of having a couple conversations with him, and I can already tell I can get a vibe off of a few conversations. That's a cool dude, man. Definitely would drink a beer with him. So hey, man, I'm gonna put this beer. This one's for you, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah, no, he's a hustler. So we got a lot going on. We're gonna get in. I want to get into something that happened with Kelly on Twitter, and then we're gonna get into some defense. It's gonna be all defense for the most part today. But next week we've got Malik Rozier from the U. He's been on the show before. We're gonna talk a little some NFL, some quarterbacks, some Cowboys. I mean, he's got a lot of knowledge, obviously played the position. We're going to get some college in. We'll maybe talk some Texas Tech. We'll be talking about the U because the season's coming closer. So really excited to get Malik on. He's a great guy, a lot of knowledge. And then on top of that, in the next few weeks, we're going to do some Cowboys preview shows with some special guests, and we're bringing back the coach. Coach Dave Campo is going to be coming back in the cave to talk some Cowboys and NFL. Obviously, we're going to do a total NFL preview with him.
Yeah, well, it's going to be live if Coach Campo is coming in. That's one of my favorite guests. Campo is a character, and he's not only a character, he's knowledgeable about the sport. And what better guest to bring in than a guy who spanned a career over a couple of different decades, and has seen a lot through Cowboys. Seen the championships, he's seen the dark years, he's seen the coming back up out of the dark. He's been through it all. So I love Coach Campo, man. He's a good guy, friend of the show, and it'll be fun to have him on, and it'll be a treat for you guys when you guys tune in here to the show to get Campo on. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm still learning some of this new stuff they got on here. I'll figure it out with all these chat overlays, but
I just barely figured it out myself. I was trying to find the chat and figure out where everybody's like, what the fuck? I didn't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, where's the chat? And I had to bring the chat out.
They moved everything. And then the last thing I'm going to say, we're getting all the public service stuff out, all the promotional stuff. I don't know. You guys may know Chuck Howley. If you're younger, maybe you don't. We're talking about the Ring of Honor, Hall of Famer, finally getting in after being overlooked for so many years. He's had some health issues. Let's just be honest. He's battling dementia. His son is obviously a great part of his life. So we're actually going to have Chuck Howley's son coming in the cave, and we're going to talk a little bit about that'll be coming up around the Hall of Fame time. We're going to talk about his father's career, maybe some great memories, some thoughts, and all that kind of stuff with him going in the Hall of Fame. So really exciting to get that. I mean, when you get a Cowboys, legend, Ring of Honor, Hall of Famer. The guy won the Super Bowl MVP on a losing team, for God's sakes. I don't know how the hell that happens, but that's how dominant he was.
Yeah. That you know what? That has only happened, if memory serves me right. Has that only happened twice in the history of the NFL?
I think it only happened once, and I think he's the one.
Is it only happened once?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say. I mean, I was thinking there was one other. I may have to read, but either way, it's not something that ever happens because you typically the MVP is on the winning team.
Yeah.
That's why it's MVP. But when you got a guy like that, man, that just shows complete dominance. He gave the guys no choice but to give him the Super Bowl MVP. It'd be kind of weird though. You're up on stage, you know, they're giving you this Super Bowl MVP, and you're on there with the guys that just beat you. But hey, man, I guess you know, hats off to him, man. You flying around the field, you deserve it.
Yeah. Richard Dent, he was on the Bears. Bears beat the hell out of the Patriots. So unless I'm missing something, I don't know what that was. But yeah. Anyway, so. My man Kelly, you had a nice vacation. You're coming back. You get nice and relaxed. You know, you're probably enjoying your day today. You know, work a little bit, getting ready to come in the cave. You got to be excited. We talked a little bit about what we wanted to do, and then I'm having a little birthday dinner with my brother to kind of, you know, you're on my alert, so I see when you tweet and you blow it up, and I see a couple of them, and here we go again, man. My man's getting into a little inner battle on Twitter with one of our own. And it's always an interesting topic. I talked a lot about it on Sunday. It's the eras, right? So you have the generation, and I don't want to seem like a boomer, but you got the generation of the Cowboys, let's say 2000 on, and then you got the ones before in the 90s and so on. And there's always a comparison, and it's almost like they gotta put a little shade on the legends of the past to make these guys look good. But I keep thinking, man, championships matter in my book, especially at the quarterback position. So the only two quarterbacks I know that I'd put on a pedestal in Cowboys history is Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach. So you got in a little battle.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, here's the thing, man. I don't mind having opinions. I don't mind having debates, man, because that's what football is all about, is having debates. But, man, when it comes to my team, man, I get a little bit heated and I get a little bit defensive over my team. And, you know, and somebody was sitting there and, like, shitting on a Hall of Famer, like, because the tweet that set me off was when they said that Trayvon Diggs would have locked down Michael Irvin and gotten an interception on Aikman. And I'm like, listen, man.
Now that would have got me started, but go ahead.
That's what started the whole shit, man. That's what set me off. And then he starts talking about, he said something about he was hacked. So first of all, that's my first take, is that, look, you say you were hacked, which he was joking about that, but like, you don't even believe your own bullshit to begin with. But second of all, why would you even disparage the name of a Hall of Fame, 3-time Super Bowl winning guy like Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman to elevate a guy like Diggs? Look, Diggs is good. I ain't taking shit away from Diggs, man. I think Diggs is a great DB. But you're going to talk about him, that he's going to lock down Michael Irvin when Michael Irvin went ham and eggs on fucking primetime Deion Sanders.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
In an NFC championship game. What are you fucking talking about, man? Like, you cannot. And like I said, man, I understand, like what you said before the show, we was talking about, like, this younger generation, man, they haven't experienced the championships. They haven't seen the Super Bowls, but you cannot sit there and compare guys. I'm sorry, man. You can talk about he's talented. He may be talented, but you know what comes along with talent is leadership. And that's what Troy Aikman had. That's what Michael Irvin had. Those guys commanded the locker room. They won championships, and championships matter. I don't care what nobody says, man. I hate it when I got to come at a guy like Tony Romo, because I love Tony Romo. I love Des Bryant, but you're going to make me get angry, and then I'm going to have to tell you the facts. And the facts are that Tony Romo only won 2 playoff games. Make all the excuses you want, 2 playoff games. So, yeah, it got me heated, man. Got me working my Twitter fingers and shit. I might have sprained an index finger, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to defend my Cowboys, but don't shit on the older generation of Cowboys to try to elevate this newer generation, because you don't have to do that.
No.
They can both be great in their own but what we want to see is championships. Guys like me and Mike, guys like people in the chat, we expect fucking Super Bowls.
Yeah.
We don't expect just 2 playoff wins.
Yeah. No, it's laughable. I didn't see the Michael Irvin one. I probably would have lost my shit, because I mean, Michael Irvin, to me, I'll argue it. I mean, one of the top 5 greatest receivers of all time. Forget that. What he would do to Diggs, if they played the way the rules are today, it wouldn't even be close. But if they were going to get physical, Michael Irvin would, and it's no disrespect to Diggs or any cornerback in this era. There aren't too many that would be able to handle Michael Irvin. He was so physical. And Deion Sanders, like you said, Deion Sanders to me is the greatest, cover corner of all time. Go back to Miami. Go back to '87 with Miami when Michael Irvin beat him deep, for in that big comeback at Florida State, and obviously they had battle. And Deion beat Irvin plenty of times too. So I don't want to make it seem like Irvin dominated him. They had battles. I mean, they had battles.
Yeah.
And again, it's no disrespect to these guys, but I mean, when you're winning, like I played a video of Michael Irvin. I don't know if you saw it. It's one of my favorite. Sometimes when I'm in the car, I'll play it. It just kind of motivates me. It's his speech he gave to the Hurricane kids during probably like a the spring game scrimmage or something like that. And he said it right off the bat. And he's talking about he won a championship at every level that he played. We're talking college. You're talking high school at St. Thomas down in South Florida, and obviously multiple championships in Dallas. There aren't many guys that can do that, and he was the leader of every single one of those. It wasn't like he was, just kind of, there for the ride. I mean, he was the man and the leader on every single one of those. And Troy Aikman said it, obviously when Michael Irvin went down, that's kind of when you saw the Cowboys, the Cowboys start that decline. And there would be times, he said, in that 95 season, when they had the whole, the change with Barry Switzer, where, Michael Irvin would, Troy Aikman would just tell Michael Irvin, man, I need you out there. I know you're hurting. I know you're there. I need you out there because you get these guys focused and you get them ready. And, again, it's no knock on any of our guys. I think Diggs is on his way to a Hall of Fame career, and he's phenomenal. But you got to be careful. There's a Hall of Fame, and then there's another level. And, like, Michael Irvin's on that other level of Hall of Fame. He's in that special room.
Exactly, man. And it's like, all right, man, we can appreciate what we got right now. We can appreciate a Michael Parsons. We can appreciate a Diggs. We can appreciate a Dak Prescott. But, like, look, until these guys, like, have their career and have a finality to their career, then it's, it's kind of hard for me to try to compare these guys and stuff. But when you start comparing guys, like, there's no doubt, man, that Romo was great. There's no doubt that Dez Bryant was. I think they were great in their own like.
You there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't know what happened right quick. No, I don't want to do that. Sorry, my computer. But they were great in their own like, but they just are not on the same level. You can't put them on the level with these guys that won championships, man. And so for the people that didn't see it, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And like, I can at least get the comparison. I don't want to get too far off topic here and into basketball, but I can at least get the comparison of basketball when it comes to LeBron and Michael Jordan, because they both won multiple championships, right?
Yes.
Romo didn't win championships. He didn't even play in an NFC championship game. Like, so while I love the guy and think he was a great quarterback, like, and it's a team sport. You can't put it all on one player, but still, you've got guys, the great ones, make their legend in the playoffs, plain and simple, and that's just what it is, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll move on. We could talk all day about it, but
we'll fucking go off on a tangent, man. I'm getting thirsty talking about it.
But I want to say, hey, we got Tony on vacation from the UK.
I seen that. Shout out.
And I see so many new faces, not new faces, but new names, I should say. And one name I'm happy is back is my man Ultra. I saw Ultra's back. He popped in on Monday. I guess he was on vacation and enjoying himself. But he made a great point. Micah Parsons is the Irvin. I think Micah Parsons, if I was going to compare that intensity and that leadership capability of controlling the locker room and elevating a team, I would say Micah Parsons is right on his way to that Michael Irvin, comparison. I think it's fair. So
yeah, no, and I agree with that. And look, there's like here Falcon said here, I agree with that. There was a lot of things that you do need a little bit of luck and when stuff like that happens. So I'm not saying, I'm not sitting here by any means am I trying to shit on Romo. That's not what I'm doing here, man. I owned a Romo jersey. I love Tony Romo, man. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So,
I'm not Romo, but I will say 2007. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be in Cabo, and I know that probably had nothing to do with it, but it was a bad look and pointed leadership. I don't know if you'd do that. Dallas Cowboys, we should have went to the Super Bowl there. I don't know if we win it or not. Obviously, we're going to play the Patriots, I believe it was. You don't lose to the Giants team that you beat twice. And you go up at home with a bye week, and you come in looking like that. So
yeah, they look rusty.
And I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying the defense was there, the offense was there. There was no excuse for them not to go far that season. That's all.
Yep. I 100% agree with that, man. And you know what? It like I said, at the end of the day, man, the best players, the reason guys are in the Hall of Fame, man, is because of their success in the postseason. And look, I understand there's guys that didn't win it all, but those guys that didn't win it all, they're in the Hall of Fame. They had postseason success. Most of them did.
Yeah.
There's very few guys that did not have postseason success that are not, you know what I mean, that are in the Hall of Fame. So you're not going to get it's like Romo. I don't think he's getting in the Hall of Fame. You look at a guy, I mean, hell, they were talking about today on the radio, again, trying not to get off topic. They were talking about Donovan McNabb. I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he was in 4 straight NFC Championship games, and I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah,
so,
but I bet you Eli gets in.
And, and he's probably going to get in. And
I think Romo's a better quarterback, but I
think Romo was a better quarterback. And, hell, Eli Manning led the league in interceptions, twice?
Yeah.
Was it 2 times? I know he led. So, I mean, I don't know, man. A lot of things can happen. The thing that I'm most looking forward to, though, is this. Dak Prescott changing the narrative this year. I feel like this is like that 07 team. I feel like this is the most complete team that we've had, both sides of the ball. We have a couple of areas that, for me, offensive line, a little shaky, running back, you wonder what it's going to be like. Is Tony Pollard, whatever. But I feel like this is still the most complete team, top to bottom, the best chance that we have had to win a Super Bowl in a long time. Combine that with the watered down NFC, because the NFC, let's face it, it is watered down. This is the chance to capitalize. This is the chance to seize that moment. Will Dak Prescott come back and have a better season than he did last year and prove everybody wrong and shut everybody the fuck up? So
I think what this leads to, what our topic is what this team is, and I think we've kind of obviously we'll talk about the offense. We talked about that in previous shows, but this defense. I mean, how good can this defense be? How much better can they be from last season? And you look at last season. I mean, who'd they lose? Like going into this year, we lost Anthony Brown. You lost Barr. You lost Watkins. That's pretty much it, unless I'm missing somebody. You help me if I'm wrong, and in the chat help me. But this defense is pretty much all intact. They're back, and they added some pieces. You add Gilmore, you add Mozzie, Sam Williams in that next year. So what's your overall thought? And then maybe we'll break it down by position group, talk a little bit about each position group. But you're going into this season. I mean, how are you feeling? Just gut, instant reaction. How good is this defense going to be?
Well, before anybody comes in and accuses me of drinking Kool-Aid, I'm not. I'm drinking Modelo. But I'm going to tell you right now that I think this Cowboys defense has the potential to be the #1 defense in the NFL. And I say that with absolute conviction. I think that what was holding them back last year was our weakness at cornerback, because I don't think that we had enough depth. I think with a second year of DaRon Bland and development with DaRon Bland, I think with the addition of Gilmore, so you're talking about 3 more than capable. I mean, I'm talking about those 3 cornerbacks have the potential to all 3 be Pro Bowl cornerbacks. Now, I don't know when the last time, or if ever, probably never, that Dallas had 3 Pro Bowl cornerbacks on the roster. I think they have the potential to do that this year. Then when you're talking about the secondaries, and Donovan Wilson, J-Ron Curse, you added the depth in the middle. We were talking about Jonathan, we had Hankins, we re-signed him, but it was a little weak in the middle. So then we go out and we signed the freak in Mozzie Smith, who has crazy upside potential, freakish athletic ability. I think this defense could be the #1 defense in the NFL. I think this defense could be scary good, and I think this defense could terrorize opposing offenses.
Well, if we're going to talk about defense, I told you we'd have a special guest. If we're talking about defense, I mean, you and I, we ain't no defense, right? We ain't played no defense. So
we ain't never played no defense, but we do know a guy that has terrorized opposing offenses.
Yes. So let's get his opinion. Mr. Eugene Lockhart, how you doing, sir?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on here, man?
Hey, man. Hey, you know how it is, brother. Hey, finest wine in the summertime and sweeter than July jam. I tell you what, man. it's got to be an exciting time of the year. You know, the grass is green. You know, you can usually tell when it's football season. They start mowing the yards and that grass started greening. And as a player, you can smell it. You can actually smell it, and you know it's getting closer. So you got to be excited about the Cowboys and the possibilities of the Cowboys this year.
Now you gotta be. Now, do you ever get, because I mean, you know, this time of year, do you get that itch and you start saying, "Hey, man, I got to get these pads. I got to get ready to get rolling here."
I tell you what, man. I don't care if you have played at the level that professional players play at. You know, it's like your muscle have memory. We have a memory that's on the inside of us that says it's getting close. It's getting close. And something on the inside of you start to move you a little different. You know, you start to refocus and you start to set goals for yourself. And when you all come together, then you'll know it's football season. It's football season, huh?
That's right.
Again, like I said last time on the show, we look at the schedule and we see the Eagles on there and we chalk it up as a win.
Well, that's yeah. Let me remind everybody. Let me remind everybody.
And usually during the off season, when they bring the schedule out, we would chalk it up as a W.
Yes, that's exactly
That's
what
right.
we do.
That's right. That's right.
I do that this
Welcome to W. Hey, well, Eugene, let me ask you right quick. You know, we were just talking right before you came in about the potential that this defense has with all the talent they got on it, with the additions they made through the draft, through the free agency. What is your expectations for this defense, and what do you think the potential is for this defense in this 2023 season?
Let me tell you something, man. For the last 2 years, the defense more or less has carried this team to the victories that they have and bring them back to some type of respectability. And, of course, you got to give Dan Quinn a tremendous amount of credit. But when they came out of the draft this year and they added Margie Smith and some additional guys in the secondary, when they traded for Gilmore and those guys, you have to be, if nothing else, you have to be excited about this defense and the possibilities of what this defense could do. And you always got to remember one thing. Defense is what wins championships.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But
That's
again,
right.
You have to have an offense. Just don't lose the game. Let us win it. You have to look, when you look at the defense, they've added Margie Smith, which is huge for the Cowboys because they couldn't say, let's stop the run in the previous years.
Yeah.
Yep.
They spent the first round draft choice, and the guy is huge. If he can push that line back, and then what that does is allows those linebackers to flow and make those tackles. Because one thing that every opponent always will look at the Cowboys and say, and you know what? It doesn't take a Phi Beta Kappa. You look at the Cowboys and say, how do we win? How do we beat them? Run the ball.
Yeah.
But now, with the addition of these guys, and now you have one of the safeties that's coming up as an addition, playing just like a linebacker. It reminds me of the 46th defense that Buddy Ryan had that time when that defense was unstoppable. And that's what this Cowboys defense have this year. They have a defense that's unstoppable. They have a defensive coordinator that has all the tools, and he's going to be moving people around, and they're going to be in the backfield. They're not going to know what happened to them. This is exciting. This is really, really exciting.
Well, you're getting me pumped up, and I just want to cement what you're saying. Our defense last year gave up 2,100 yards rushing, 4.4 yards a carry. Just to compare that was 17th in the NFL. Just to compare that, the 49ers gave up 3.4 yards a carry. It was a full yard a carry. That's a huge difference.
Right.
I think, like, to your point is we've got to get it. The other thing that you've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eugene, because you're the expert. Our safety led the team in tackles. That probably shouldn't happen, should it?
Well, you know how I feel about that. Here's the real deal. No safety. If it gets to the safety, that means your line and your linebackers are no good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Back in the day, the number one thing that Tom Landry would always write on the board is how do we win? And the number one thing was stop the run. For 10 years, as long as I played, that was always number one. Because if you stop the run and you force them to pass the ball, then all different types of things can happen. They can fumble the ball, interception, stopping the run. But again, as I said, you guys watch football. You guys are intelligent enough to know. You hear all the talk show hosts, and then you don't have to really study too much to know how to beat the Cowboys. If you run the ball consistently, not only are you taking time off the clock, but then the play action starts to work extremely good for you.
Yep.
So it's vitally important. Mozzie Smith, I think, is a huge, huge difference. And then allowing Jerome Kearse and those guys to come up on line of scrimmage. I tell you what, just imagine the things that's going through Dan Quinn's mind right now with all the talent that he have, DeMarcus Lawrence and those guys. You got to be chopping at the bit. The only thing, if they stay healthy, and man, I tell you what, linebackers got to step up.
Yeah.
Because if you look at this team, I think that's the weakness of this defense.
Now, I had a question for you on that, Eugene. You're a linebacker, so obviously, who better to ask than Eugene Lockhart about a linebacker? Is you got a let me just say, I see you. You got the same thing I'm dreaming. But man of my own taste, baby. Okay. No, but I've been hearing some good things about Deron Bland, right? Or not Deron Bland, Damone Clark, the linebacker, Damone Clark.
Right.
Okay, so he was, last year he's coming back from a pretty significant injury that he had in college, but this year there's some higher expectations for him. What do you see for him as a role in this defense? Is he a guy you see stepping in and filling in? Because now they're talking about Parsons playing more with his hand in the dirt, rushing the passer. That's going to open up some spots for some younger guys to fill in. What do you feel about Damone Clark and his role in the defense?
Well, I think here's the deal, and I know he has to be chopping at the bits. Because when you come out of college, man, you get drafted to the Cowboys and you're chopping at the bit, the injury happens. So for 2 years, it's got to be something that was building up on the inside of him to say, I cannot wait to show these people what I can do. I cannot wait, because his name really hadn't been heard since for 2 years. He wants to get out there in the spotlight and do what he has to do. And I do believe that not only doing his rehab, but during this offseason, he saw himself fitting into this defense some type of way and making a difference. And I know what you do, what players do is they compare themselves. They look at the other player. I'm better than him. I can do this better than him. And I believe that he's been doing that, and he's finding a way to get better. And because of that, he's going to help this defense tremendously.
Yeah. Do you know much about Overshown? He's one of the guys that they drafted out of Texas, a little high on him. But, I heard Darren Woodson talk about it, and they asked him what kind of advice he'd give. And he said, man, that man better eat, because he's a little undersized.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts? Have you seen much of him yet or no?
I haven't seen much of him. And I really didn't see that much of him coming out of school. But evidently the Cowboys seen something in him. But if Darren Woodson say you need to eat, he needs to eat. But again, where those guys can fit in tremendously, evidently he was a pretty good player coming out of college. That's when special teams become so valuable and the things he may be able to do. If he's on the team, if a player is on the Cowboys team, on any NFL team, they are worthy of being there, and they're honorable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And talking about, let's start on the line. So we're gonna throw Micah Parsons on the D line because he's the pass rusher. I mean, how we're talking about leadership, and we're talking about dogs, and we're talking about guys who can elevate the team. We're talking about some of the championships in the past. How do you see Parsons as that leader?
I see Parsons as I see the president. He can do what he want to do. Let me tell you something. I've seen the guy work out and how he prides himself in how he works, his work ethic. He doesn't take anything for granted. It's just like, I did this last year, I did this the year before. because if you really look at it, it looks like he fell off a little last year. But you got to remember, when teams have a year to study you, they'll find a way to stop you, and then that's when other people have to stop up. I'm so impressed with this young man. I'm talking about from his rookie year to now, the way he carries himself, the leadership. I'm talking about the tenacity. I'm talking about the will to win, and he's not ashamed to show, I did this. I can do this. You can't stop me. He can run by you. He'll run over you. He'll run through you, whatever it takes. And when you have somebody like that, that elevates the defense. When you get camaraderie, when you get everybody flying to the football, that's a defense that's unstoppable. Meet me at the ball, baby. Meet me at the ball.
And I mean, he's nasty. He's like the way you guys were, man. He gonna hit you. He's gonna beat you up, and then as you walk into the parking lot, he's gonna tell you how he did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, in that
he gonna put his arms around and say, you know what, your wife called me a few minutes ago. She said she didn't want to be with you. She wanted to be with me because I'll just whoop your ass on TV for 30 minutes. But I tell you what, man, your adrenaline has to be flowing, and you have to be excited about the possibility of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I tell you, if this offense can do the things that I think that they will do this year, if they can run the football, and that's one thing that's a question mark, is what are they going to do at running back? I know they add some talent up there on the line, but it bothers me because you have who's the starting running back?
Well, you got Pollard. Pollard, it's his.
I know Pollard, but is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be healthy? Kenny carried 30 times a game, and who's going to block on third downs? And because once an offense know what you're doing, once the defense know what you're doing, and they know your weaknesses, they're going to exploit your weaknesses. And that is, you have a back that don't know how to pick up the blitz. And that's when the quarterback becomes hurt. And then you start to question what's wrong with the quarterback. No, what's wrong with the second part of the offensive line that can't block the blessing linebacker? Because they're going to throw it at them, especially young guys.
Yeah, and that's the part that me and Mike have talked about a lot, is that, what is the Cowboys offense going to do to offset the fact that we really don't have a pass blocking running back in there to get a chip off? Because you've seen Pollard been put in situations like that, and he did not excel at those situations.
I have not seen. And now I watch the Cowboys. I have not seen him perform at just the third down aspect of the game, whereas it becomes vitally important that we have to make this 3rd and 7 catch. But if you got him in there, because now it becomes a number of games across the line. And what defensive coordinators do is they'll throw some confusion in there. And if he's not up to par, if he hadn't studied, that's when the confusion comes. And then that's when Dak is hit from the blind side. And now he's out with a broken leg. But
no jinx in us.
No, it's no jinx. No, it's no jinx. I'm just saying, at that position, if there's only one position on the Cowboys offense on this team that you would have to question, it would be the running back position.
Yeah.
Pollard's an excellent running back.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Still got to have that muscle. Zeke was going to get in 3rd and 1 on the goal line. He was going to get in. So you got to have some respect for that. I really hope he comes back.
Do you think you like to see Zeke back? Do you think Malik Davis? You see Malik Davis, a rookie. He was out of Florida last year. He showed some flashes in preseason. But in the 49er game, in the playoff game, we didn't. When Zeke went, or when Pollard went down, Zeke wasn't really getting the job done, and they didn't ever put Malik Davis in. Do you think there's just a trust factor, that they need to have with him to give him those opportunities?
In order for you to put a guy in, you have to have total trust, especially in a situation where you playing playoffs and getting ready to go to playoffs. And then if you don't have that, then you start to question what in the hell is going on and how do we fix this? I just don't believe they have the confidence in him yet.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown it yet. He's shown flashes every once in a while, but everybody can get lucky every once in a while.
Yeah.
Can you do it consistently? Can you block? Can you run consistently? It's a monster out there.
No, yeah.
It's out there. It's a monster. And you got to remember, as a running back, there's a linebacker that's watching your ass. He's trying to get you, man. It's like a lion in the jungle. He's watching his prey, and he's watching his prey so to the point that if it takes 1 down, 2 down, I gotta keep chasing my prey until I catch him. And once he catch him, that's it.
Like a lion on a gazelle.
That's it.
Like a lion. Look,
Yes, sir. The lion say, I'm the king. I'm the king of the jungle. The lion says, I'm the king of the jungle. And it walks around with an air atmosphere that I'm the king of the jungle. And everybody know it. And the lion, he got his eyes on his prey. And whatever it takes, he going to keep his eyes on his prey until he catches it. And it's just like a dream. Keep on chasing your prey until you catch it. Keep on dreaming until you achieve it. And don't let small minds convince you can't achieve your dream. Dream on and dream big. Dream on and dream big. And if you ever feel like you're going to fall, you try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And when you get up, you got to rise and grind.
I think you've made yourself very clear.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I had to give a standing ovation on that. I felt like it was a sermon on Sunday, baby. I was like,
right.
amen.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So
You keep bringing it. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say I've been on the train, man. Of I talking about the Cowboys. They got some money to spend, man. I've been talking about having them bring in a guy like Dalvin Cook, man. They got some money out there. I'm not saying they got to spend it all, man. But I mean, what do you think about a guy like Dalvin Cook? Or there's a few other free agents out there, but my personal favorite is Dalvin Cook. I think him and Pollard would take this offense to a whole other level.
Man,
and he can also pass block. He can pass block.
Adding a Dalvin Cook would be awesome. But still, you gotta have somebody to block. You gotta have a secondary blocker. And I know as you look at this football team, you gotta look at the team and see, as starters, you gotta feel good about your starters, and then the potential of backup. And that's what the game has done. It's come to a point where there's so much parity in the game because now the guys who used to be second team, they're moved to other teams because of free agency and all of that.
Yeah. Yep.
Dalvin Cook. There's a lot of guys out there. That could potentially help this football team, wide receivers, and you have all these different things. And the Cowboys got money. They got about $18 million left that they could go and get somebody. Still, you got great wide receivers. You drafted a tight end. Your offensive line is solid. You got to get somebody back there that's going to run that football. And God knows in heaven, I hope Pollard have the best year that he possibly can. I hope he have an all-pro year. But it's a monster. It's a monster.
yeah.
And I promise you this, the thing that I always say is this. When offensive coaches, you give them a year to study you, they're going to find your strength and your weaknesses. And they're going to find a way to stop you. Therefore, that's why great coaches are able to change at halftime.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you something. We're talking about spending money, and I love spending money, especially if it's not mine.
I heard that.
You got. There's rumors out there that the Rams are shopping Aaron Donald around, and would you?
If they are,
all in?
You don't even have to ask me. Go get him. And hey, if you got whatever you get, because that's a man, that's a beast. He can change this entire. He can be like Deion Sanders was for the Cowboys and Super Bowls. That's what he can add to this team. I don't believe they're shopping him because if they shopping him, somebody is crazy as hell if they don't go get him because that's a man's man.
Yeah, no, he's a bad dude. That would be. I mean, yeah, I would love.
And he know it too.
Oh yeah. If he lands in the NFC East, it better damn well be the Cowboys.
And if he doesn't, You know, it is what it is. But if you have an opportunity to go get someone like that, man, get on the plane. Whatever you got to do, because that man is a difference maker. But the thing of, you know, he really wanted to retire. I think that was more or less like a contract deal. He really wanted to retire because that man by himself, he reminds you of somebody like a Charles Haley, somebody like a Eugene Lockhart, somebody like a Lawrence Taylor. I'm talking about game changers. He's a game changer. He is a game changer all by himself. And if you have the opportunity to go get him, man.
I would be doing backflips, and I can't do no backflips. So I figure a damn way to do it if they were to get something like that. And you hear those rumors, like you said. Why would the Rams do that? I know they're kind of, you know, they're
building,
and they don't know if they're going to win, and you dump some stuff, and maybe they can get some value with picks and some guys with them. And I know Dallas isn't real big on trading their draft picks, so it would be interesting to see how that played out. But that would be a game changer.
And I tell you what,
let's the secondary. Let's just shift to the secondary with the cornerbacks that we got. Obviously, you mentioned it. We got Gilmore, you got Diggs, you got obviously Bland. You hope that maybe my son's favorite player, Kelvin Joseph, somehow wakes up and does something. I don't know if it happened. They drafted this kid Eric Scott, who they're really high on. So it seems like what was a weakness for this team is now turning into a strength. So what's your reaction to the secondary and kind of where
I think they've done a tremendous job in hurling themselves around a tremendous amount of talent. Guys that can run, guys that can cover. You got safeties that can come up on the line of scrimmage and create a possibility of 4 linebackers. You have guys that can play man to man. Not only that, you got them can play. They are so smart, and they have so much speed that they can play the zone extremely well.
Yeah.
That used to be a weakness, but let me get back to this. You know, the Cowboy fans and Cowboys, we've been waiting for a Super Bowl for a long time.
Too damn long.
Way too long.
And think about it, man. The Dallas Cowboys and the Cowboys fans, they deserve a Super Bowl. We got the most beautiful stadium. I'm talking about the elegance. Let's see it on the field. And I was just saying that to say this. If you add an Aaron Donald to this team, that would let the fans know we trying to get to a Super Bowl. We're trying to give you something after 2 or 3 decades that you deserve. We're trying to give you what America's team stand for, and that's win, win, win. And whatever we have to do front office wise, we're gonna give you. You're gonna at least know when you come to the game that we gave you everything that we possibly could, and they deserve that as fans. I'm talking about this drought is going on too long.
It's been way too long, and you know, they're talking about if Aaron Donald comes, who's getting cut? Well, I mean, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
Aaron Donald.
Who cares? I mean, honestly, who cares at that point? You get Aaron Donald. As long as it ain't Michael Parsons, we good.
No,
just don't cut Gallimore, please.
Can you imagine the defense with Michael Parsons, Aaron Donald, and Lawrence? Man, come on. Huh? Please.
It would be
my tickets back.
So nasty, man. It would be so nasty.
Man.
Oh,
and to be able to walk into a game when the defense is coming down that tunnel, can you feel I can feel it even right now. Can you feel when the defense is coming down there? You got Aaron Donald, Michael Parsons, Lawrence, Marcus, and they're coming out there, man. Boy, as a fan, it's on now, baby.
Yeah, no,
now and then forget the coin toss. We're gonna give you the ball first. To show you that we mean business on defense, and we are, and there ain't no stopping us now. We on the move when we get that defense the way we're supposed to. I'm excited about the Cowboys and the possibilities.
Yeah, For sure, man. And you know, stuff like that has got to excite people whenever you hear a name like Aaron Donald, obviously, whether that happens or not. I mean, I think this defense already without Aaron Donald has the potential to be a
Right, no
number one
doubt.
overall defense in the NFL. But if you add Aaron Donald, I think it's a slam dunk that this is the most dominant defense in the NFL.
If you look at it now,
This could go down as one of the greatest.
even if you look at the defense now, going into 2023, they're the second-rated defense in the league. I think they was beat out by the Jets, just narrowly. The Jets have an awesome defense as well. With the Cowboys, and you got to give Dan Quinn so much credit because he puts the guys in a position where they can win. And the thing about Dan Quinn and his defenses is this: they trust him. They trust him, and he trusts them.
Yep.
So when he calls something, they know in their mind that he's expecting me to get there, and vice versa. They expecting him to call something that give them the opportunity to stop them and to win. And when you have that kind of trust in defensive coordinators and players, you're unstoppable. You are unstoppable. You don't want a player out there down you don't want something like when Tom Brady go to his line of scrimmage. You shouldn't call that. Or when Aaron Rodgers go to the line of scrimmage, let me do it. You don't want that. You want to be on the same page with the same idea, because once you see that separation, then you're going to get beat somewhere. You're going to get beat.
No. And what someone asked in the chat, and I just want to say, you get a lot of love in the chat, as you always do. You're definitely loved by Cowboys Nation. What's your thoughts on McCarthy, and kind of, do you have any, I mean, you know, from the outside looking in, you've seen him come in, he's replaced Garrett, they had all those, you know, those underachieving years. He comes into a tough situation with COVID. Obviously they lose, you know, you lose Dak, and now he's had the back-to-back 12+ seasons, but he still seems to be on the hot seat. What's your thoughts on McCarthy? Do you have any, as far as him being the right guy for this team?
You know one thing about me, I don't hold my tongue about nothing.
Yep.
You want to ask me that question again? You sure?
No, I want to hear it, man.
All right. Let me tell you.
I know my man don't hold nothing back.
All right, let me tell you. Why in the hell would you bring in a coach that's been to the Super Bowl, that called the plays, offensive coordinator, been to the Super Bowl, guided his team with his direction, with his study, with his astute, with his smart? Why in the hell would you allow
Kellen Moore,
who is a product of someone that you just got rid of, that has the same idea? What have you, McCarthy should have said, now, hey, if I'm going to get fired, it's going to be because of me. How in the world? The offensive, it looks the same as it did when Jason Garrett. Yeah, you got a head coach, but you got the same idea. You got the same thing that got us starving for a win.
Mm-hmm.
McCartney, he need to get up his head. He said, man, hey, if he want to be on America's team, and if he want to follow the greats, you better get your ass up and start coaching. Because don't let nobody else get you fired. If you're going to get fired yourself. But I know that he's capable of doing it. I know because he's done it before.
Yes.
You don't let no little boy be over you. I don't care how creative that he may be. But you can be creative to a certain point, and those trick plays at some point are going to get you in trouble.
Well, they did. It was something that, you know, they talk about situational football, and that's where Kellen Moore was hurt. I'll go to my grave saying that Mike McCarthy did not want, Kellen to be the offensive coordinator.
Man, come on. Now,
he was forced on him, and now he's got it his way. And they talk about the Super Bowl, and then they say, oh, he won Aaron Rodgers won in that Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers ain't won shit since he left, so maybe the coach got it.
Okay, was it Tom Brady or Belichick?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't take a Phi Beta Kappa.
Yeah.
Come on. But McCartney, you got to understand, he got to do what he told. this is who gonna be your offense coordinator.
Yeah.
And you make it work, or you gonna get fired. Period.
Yeah.
But see, you put him at a disadvantage. You won't let him use his creativity. You won't let him be the real coach. You won't let him do everything he wants to. Why? Because I don't know what you saw in Kellen Moore. He ain't where he won at. Nothing.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you on.
I'm not talking about him by no stretch of imagination. But there is no way that you're gonna hire me and tell me he got to be my coordinator, and you just fired the offense coordinator. They got the same ideas.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. So this is his chance to do it his way, right, Kelly?
Yeah, man. Let him. Hey, let's see if he gonna win. Let's put the pressure on him. Give him everything that he needs. But hey, if he wins, it's his way. If he lose, he get fired. Come on. That's just the way it is. But there is no way that you let another somebody come in and lose your job for you.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, my man?
That is. Kelly, you're muted. Kelly, if you can hear me, you're muted, my brother. We're having some background noise. Who's muting? You there, Kelly? He's still muted.
Hey, Kelly.
Kelly's having some audio. Kelly, try and disconnect your audio. I think you're having some audio issues. We'll get rolling with this. So no, I would say with McCarthy, he could do things his way now. And I think if you're going down, you got to go down with the ship, and hopefully we'll get it. I love McCarthy. I
do too.
On him. People say, "Oh, he's a puppet. He's this and that." I think McCarthy's the right fit, the right person to lead this team. He's changed the culture of the team.
Yes, he has.
Made tough decisions with players, things
right.
like that. The draft, obviously, you got McClay in there doing the draft, but McCarthy, the coach, usually has some influence on that.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of guys. So I think McCarthy's the perfect guy, especially even for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones loves to talk and loves to be in front of the camera. McCarthy don't really care.
Right.
That's the right partnership for this Cowboys.
And if you look at McCarthy, you got to respect him to be able to do what he's done under the circumstances and given so much latitude. You got to respect how he brought this team together.
Yeah.
From what they look like to respectability. You got to respect him for not going off and saying, I would do it different. You got to respect him and know that he really wants to win. And the thing that I love about it is he won even under the rest that he had, he still won. And he changed the culture of this team. And he brought this team together back to respectability. They've been trying to fire him for 2 or 3 years. But he keeps on winning. Now it's his time to move a little bit further up. This year, nothing else will be acceptable but a trip to the Super Bowl. No, not just going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not just going to the second round.
Yep.
It's time for America's team to let its flags fly. It's time. it's time to get on the right train and ride the train all the way to the Super Bowl. It's time, Mike. Like, I don't know about you, Mike, but it's time, Mike, to get on this train and get on back to the Super Bowl, baby.
Oh, I've been waiting.
It's our year this year, Mike. This our year. I don't care what nobody say. It's our year.
No, I'm with it, Kelly. What's your thoughts on it? Is your mic working now?
I think. Can you hear me now?
You're choppy.
All right.
Something's wrong.
I don't know what's going on with my mic.
Try it. Listen. Check your settings real quick. Check your settings. Look at your audio and see if you're on the right thing. If you're having trouble, maybe flip it to computer and see if that fixes it. Maybe you're just having trouble with the mic.
Yeah,
But
all right. I'll check this.
Give me a minute. Give my man a minute.
All right. Hold on. Change something here.
Yeah. Technical difficulties is what happens when you got a live program. And you got,
okay.
you got people burning it up. We bring the hitting machine, the hitting machine here. They got all these people jumping in wanting to talk to chat. But Eugene, how many? Well, I'll just kill time while Kelly's working. How many phone calls did you receive?
Man, let me tell you something. when I came on last time, you know, I got kind of fired up and
You sure did.
I say, my number is man, when I left out of here, and I guess you guys were still on, my phone started ringing. Before I got in the car, the phone just started ringing. And man, that was a young man, and I hope he's still on tonight. That really, really touched my heart. I'm talking about the way he talked about the show and how much he looks forward to you guys coming on and how you guys pick up his day. If he had a bad day, he can't wait to see you guys. And this guy was, this man was crying, man, and I gave him autographs and things like that, and my phone hadn't stopped ringing.
That's awesome. Well,
and my number is changing, by the way.
I would have done it.
My number is changing, by the way.
Maybe don't get
I tried to
come on the show right now.
Stop you.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Mike. Let me tell you something. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had a tremendous amount of phone calls, opportunities to go out and share charity and do some things with some different people. Not only is your program great for Cowboys fans, but let me tell you something. These people love the Cowboys and want to win, and they would do anything at all costs to see the Cowboys get back to respectability. But these fans are real. These are some real loving. And man, I don't care. My number is 214-536-5654.
You did it
You
again.
can call me anytime because I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to some of the man to hear some of their stories, to hear where they coming from, to see how they were the comeback kids in their life when something happened to them and people thought they was down and then they came back. They were the comeback kids. It reminds you of Cowboys. We don't rebuild, we reload. That's what the Cowboys fans are doing in their lives today. And if I need to give you my phone number again, it's 214-536-5654. My name is Eugene Lockhart, and I approve this message.
But more importantly, they can talk to you, you know, they can call you, but how about you get out to the cave tailgate party when we take on the Jets?
Mike, I cannot wait to tell you what we got going on for this year, man. And coming to the Cowboy game is going to be different from so many fans. We're going to be over there across the street, and we'll have like a live broadcast, and people going to be there. And man, you'll be able to do your show from there. And not only that, man, we got some great things, great possibilities. We got Kevin Smith coming on. We got Randy White. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But you know what? To have the cave in Dallas, man?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
We're going to take a road show. We're going to take it on the road.
Yeah.
There
we go.
And the possibilities of these are just getting even better, even as we speak. Yes, sir. I'm excited. What about you, Kelly?
Hey, man, I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I can't wait. I'm counting down the days and hours.
Yeah, man. 2 weeks before the season starts. I know the guys are really grinding right now. They've been grinding all season long. They're kind of slowing down a little bit. Then their bodies rest, but they're focusing now. What they should be doing now is they should be getting a lot of rest, and everybody on that team should be thinking about nothing but what it's going to take to get to the Super Bowl. And then they have to have all of them have to have a vision of them getting there, of them defeating whoever's in their way. They have to have a purpose on why they're doing what they're doing. And then in their minds, they have to have a plan, a vision, a purpose, and a plan. And when you find an individual that has all three, hello, here we go, baby. Here we roll into the Super Bowl. Here we roll. Because when you have all three, it's unstoppable. Vision, a purpose, and a plan. Not only does it work in football, but it works in life. If God gives you a vision, believe it. If he gives you a purpose, know that your purpose is to do what he has called you to do. And then he lays out the plan for you. Follow it. and then you will be a number one.
Amen. Amen. And I know you said crystal clear. I want to hear it one more time because that's my favorite part of the show. Say it one time, crystal clear.
Are you clear? I want you to take this, and I want you to take it like this. Whatever I tell you, I want it to be clear. Not just clear, crystal. Crystal clear. I don't want there to be no doubt. It is what it is.
Crystal.
Oh, you're the best, man. I love you, G. Lockhart, man.
I love you guys too. I love you guys. I love the fans. Fans, I tell you what, you guys deserve it all. And I tell you what, without you guys, America's team wouldn't be what it is. Because hey, you stuck with us through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's what it takes. Even in life, we have no quitting sense. We have no quitting sense. And that's what it takes. Yeah, we may be down right now. We may be down, but we're not out. You can never count us out. Individually, if you take that same kind of attitude, yeah, I may be falling down. I may be going through some hard times right now, but I have no quitting sense. It becomes a mentality. I can do this again. I can look up at the ladder of success and say, I can do this again. And then wake up. If it's got to do it early in the morning, you wake up to win. In the midday, you wake up to win. Late in the midnight hour, you say, I just got to get up and I got to rise and I got to grind. I don't care what it takes. I got to rise and grind. I got something waiting on me today. I got to rise.
I might need to have him do a hype video with me. You're going to have to, I'm going to fly down to the cave. Opening week, and we're gonna do the hype video together because you give me
more. I'm about to run through a damn. I'm about to run through the wall. I'm about to run through the damn. I feel like I've been to church. A motivational speech, all in the same fucking.
Let's do this, hey man. I tell you what it is. I love it.
No,
I love it, man. I'm talking about for real. There is no other better game than football, and what football has given me. I'm talking about to know what it takes in order to be the best at the pinnacle of your life, at the pinnacle of your career. I'm talking about not just to be on a team, but the pinnacle. When you set records and do those type of things, don't you know that it takes a special person? There's something got to be on the inside because when they get hot outside, you got to outwork them. I'm talking about you have to know inside of yourself, man, I want something out of this.
Yep.
I want something, I want people to be talking about me, but I got to pay the price. Even if you're a janitor, if you're a social worker, whatever it may be, don't take it for granted. Be the best at it. If you're going to be a loser, you'll be the best damn loser. If you're going to be a failure, and you're just not a failure, failure means you just didn't do everything right. But God will give you a chance. If he wakes you up, you got a chance to say, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. What happens is when you've experienced some success in your life, every once in a while it looks like you're falling down. Most people don't have the strength or the energy to look back up at success and say, I can do this. And they give up. Be like that lion. Be like that dreamer who dared to dream. Be like the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, who once were lost, but now we're found. We're blind, but now we see. We're coming back.
Oh, I feel it, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I just, man, you get me going. So I want to leave with this real quick because my man Kelly got in a little Twitter battle, and I don't want to hash up old wounds. But Troy Aikman, you played with Troy Aikman for a couple of years,
yes,
and he didn't put up the huge numbers. You hear the players say, let's say Tony Romo, that's the name that came up. And some people are saying Tony Romo was better than Troy Aikman or this or that. I mean, did you see the leadership? Did you see from Troy Aikman in those early years, some lean years, right? You're on that 1-15 team with the 22 tackles, the only All-Pro we had, the the only face we had on the defense. So you saw those years. Did you see it in Troy Aikman to know this guy's got it?
Well, again, I was on the team when Troy was a rookie, and I seen him line up behind the guard. Again, coming from college and going to the pros is different. Troy is not the vocal leader, but you got to understand. Look what was around him: Mike Irvin,
yeah,
Emmett, Haley, Dion. You don't have room enough to say nothing else. He just needed to study and be who he was, and because he was efficient, and he was hard. He loved to win, but he didn't talk about it. He was about it.
Yeah.
You can be a winner. You can be a leader in a lot of different ways. You lead the best way you lead, and let everybody else lead their way. And in some type of way, it all become cohesive, and you become a team, and you become leaders. Michael Irvin was a great leader. Emmitt Smith. But look at this team now. Look how much they respect Dak Prescott.
Yep.
I'm talking about, you hear all the things that you hear about Dak. And, we need to get rid of Dak. Okay, well, then, what you going to do? What are you going to do? I think leadership comes from the top. If your top is giving you everything that you need, it's just like in business. We depend on our back end to take care of business. We can't sell nothing, and if we sell it to you and our back end doesn't perform, you lose.
Oh yeah, yep. I know that.
Therefore, it's vitally important.
Yeah.
That everybody is on the same page. Troy Aikman, awesome player, but I'm gonna tell you something. He's a winner, and he hates the day that Jimmy Johnson left here. He despised the thought of being 2 or 3 more Super Bowls because they had the dynasty.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the way he talks. He's angry. Troy Aikman is angry because he knew what they had. He knew it. Michael Irvin is angry. Emmett, they're angry because they know Jimmy was the man.
Yeah.
They won't say it because Daddy won't let them. And Daddy may not give what they want. They know though. If they be real men, and one day they'll hiccup and they'll come up under that shadow and be able to tell the truth, that's when they become real men. That's when they can lead the kids and their families. And that's when. Man.
Yeah, well, I know Troy Aikman talk about it. I know Michael Irvin.
He talks about it all the time, man.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he just hates the possibility of what they could have done.
It's always what could have been, and that's the trouble with that team.
I'm talking about everything was in place.
Yeah.
They hadn't caught up to Jimmy and his speed, and they hadn't caught up.
Yep.
But we got caught up. Somebody got caught up. Oh well.
That's just unfortunate egos. We won't be negative. We're going to leave on a positive note. Things, but
crystal clear. We are winners. We are the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
How about the Cowboys?
Well, hang tight, Kelly. You're still having some mic issues. We'll end this thing. Eugene, you hang tight. We're going to end the show, and then I want to talk to you afterwards. So just hang tight. Cowboys Nation, you're talking about the hit machine, Eugene Lockhart, hanging out in the cave.
Yes, sir.
More of this stuff. So, Eugene, I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for popping in, just popping in out of nowhere. We appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to many more.
I love you guys.
Hey,
thank you, Cowboys. Thank you, Cowboys.
Hang tight. I don't know, Kelly. There's something wrong with the mic, man. Talk now.
I don't know. I don't know what's.
Are you guys hearing it in the chat? I just want to make sure it's not me, but hopefully it is just me. But it seems like you're glitchy. Anyone who's still left, just give us a quick nod if you can hear it. Kelly, talk.
Yeah, I kept getting some feedback on your end when you were talking as well. So I don't know if it's something on. I don't know if it's something goofy in here or if they can hear it on here. I seen Ultra said I got the Bud Light mic. It's not a Bud Light mic. It's a little blue here mic, but I need to get a new mic.
All here. So we're going to end it. We had a great show. Guys, this is what it's all about, man. Having a great time. It's awesome to see Eugene hit Machine Lockhart coming in the cave, getting us all hyped up. You know I'm feeling it. So it is nothing better than that, man. We're going to get this thing rolling. But I appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share. You'll hear all the stuff we got going on. Malik Rosier going to be coming in. We'll be talking a little Cowboys, a little NFL, but of course got to throw the U in there since he was a quarterback of the U, and he gave my son the best present, the first game he ever went to at Florida State, last-second victory on a beautiful pass. So I always got love for Malik Rosier. So he'll be coming in, and of course we got Chuck Howley's son's going to be coming in before the Hall of Fame. We got some other stuff. So it's going to be great. So, guys, stay tuned. And I don't know what I'll say. Kelly, you can try and sign off. Hopefully your mic's getting better, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it is or not. If they're hearing in the chat or not. Now we're going to have this shit fixed for next week.
We'll get it. We'll get it taken care of next week.
We'll get it figured out. But, Cowboys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming through. And you know that only one show is going to bring the content that we brought tonight with Eugene Lockhart. He brought a sermon and a motivational speech all in 60 goddamn minutes. So come back through and get it again next time.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We'll see you guys. Now you Eagles getting ready, because you might not like it, but you will learn to love it, because we are the best thing going today. Now can you dig it?